Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome, Tag. Good to see ya. Alright, it's a story stream. Haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah, there was no raid last night because I was ill. I feel good today though, so... And so they're releasing... Ah.
Do not despair. You are not without allies.
Thank you, Vivs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh yeah, they're releasing the next chapter of Hildibrand next week. That's really snuck up on me. But I haven't done the previous chapter of Hildibrand. So we're going to do that today. Especially since the relic weapon quests are tied in with all that. So I want to try and give ourselves some time to catch up on that. So I just got this cute dog minion. The description for this dog is very, very cute. He's a cute puppy dog. Yes, he is. Yes, he is a cute puppy dog. A cute puppy dog. Yes, he is. Ah, such a cute puppy dog. Yes. Very good. Although I should use the Godbert minion for today. They have a gold saucer event at the moment. And you can get the wind-up Godbert from it. That would fit today. Kind of want to get back into FF14. Nice. Go for it, it's fun. And there should be a new expansion announcement coming in a couple weeks, hopefully. That's my guess, anyway. Private FF11 server. Okay, yeah, I never tried 11, but it looks interesting. Okay. Right, so we've done 2 chapters of Hildibrand so far. In the first chapter, we had to rescue Hildibrand from his soul ended up on the first, so we had to go and bring him back and reunite him with his body. But then his body got kidnapped by a villain who. Oh, it was a scientist Lugay, or yeah, a robot who wanted to do experiments on his body. And we reunited his soul with his body. We defeated the villain, and then he got abducted by aliens. It's Hildibrand. That happens. Yeah. So then the second chapter was trying to find him again. We went to the moon. We met an alien named PuPu. Hildibrand ended up befriending PuPu. But PuPu, accidentally cloned a whole ton of Hildibrands. It was very strange. There were so many Hildibrands. We rounded up the clones. I think they're all gone now. And yeah, now we've saved Hildibrand, and Hildibrand wants to help out this alien. Because this alien is here looking for a friend of theirs. Also, there's this guy. This guy is a reporter for a tabloid. He's like really into conspiracy theories. Delian. Alright, so let's see where we go today. The spectacle of inspection. Delian is ready to embark on another crusade for the truth. Chan, what suspiciously auspicious timing. I was just thinking of you, and suddenly you appear. As I'm sure you recall, Master PuPu claimed his purpose in coming to our world was to search for a missing comrade. Which is, of course, merely a cover for his true objective, laying the groundwork for a full-scale invasion. But I understand the skeptical masses will demand proof of this sinister operation. Thus did I decide to bide my time, keep my eyes open, and let things play out. And no sooner had I resolved to do so, when I received word concerning the inspector. It seems they've made progress in tracking down our alien friend's friend. This could be my chance. I say my chance, but I can hardly stand against this cosmic conspiracy alone. You are coming along, yes? I wouldn't dream of letting you investigate PuPu by yourself. The truth will out, Or something truth adjacent at the very least. I'm not letting you investigate PuPu on your own. I don't trust you. But let us be on our way. They were headed to Palakistan, and we don't want to miss even the smallest development. Bum, bum, bum. Hurrah! Palakistan. Oh, I forgot to put up the no spoilers text. Let's see. Just gotta find it. There it is. No story spoilers. Nashu! PuPu! That's right, PuPu's eyes are very strange. But still cute. Melchan, you came. The lunar crew is back together. My loyal associates, come to admire the spectacle of inspection, have you? As well you should. Look, Master PuPu, Melchan has come to help. Thank you, Melchan. You're too kind. Aww. You cutie. What? No more poo-pooing? You speak our language now? No echo or universal translator what's it's required? No more poo-pooing? It was no great chore to master your tongue. The grammar and syntax is relatively simplistic. Such a terrifying intellect. What hope do we have to prevail against it? So, how did you narrow down the search to this particular area exactly? Why, my tried and true inspector's sense, my dear fellow. All the perceptible and imperceptible signs pointed me in this direction, although they did neglect to include a precise location. For that, we must rely on another tried and true inspecting technique. Interrogation. Spread out, everyone, and question the locals on any PuPu-shaped sightings. Oh my god, I forgot PuPu squeaks when they walk. That's so cute. So cute. Alright. Asking around. Seen any PuPus? Now that you mention it, I did see something like that in the west of the Shroud. Might have mistaken it for a small child, if not for the way it moved. Sort of a furtive scamper? Creepy. The Shroud? Oh, I see. The Shroud of the Sumga. I thought they meant the Black Shroud, the forest in Gridania. I think I'll stay out of the jungle for a while. The western reaches, at least. Ragamuffin? Ragamuffin? If I may, have you perchance come across an individual resembling this delightful blue ragamuffin here? Ah, I see. No, the syrup goes over the pancakes. Where's our, conspiracy theorist? Just gonna see if... Oh, there he is. Inspector's sense, he says. Clearly, he's just following a gut feeling. Unless... Could it be that he is, in fact, channeling a higher power? You're thinking about Hildibrand too much. Oh, yes, I spotted just such an odd little creature in the jungle on my way back from the city markets. Only it wasn't alone. It was in the company of a rather unusual gentleman. Sickly pale he was, and radiating an unpleasant smell. I felt obliged to keep my distance. Oh, it was probably a zombie, right? A gentleman zombie. You plan on tracking down this unsettling pair, then? You're a braver soul than I. Yeah, it's going to be one of the zombies. Any promising leads? Mel-chan, have your investigations borne fruit? Mine own carefully crafted queries place an individual of Master PuPu's proportions in the south of the Shroud. To the west, your sources say? I asked around, and there have been a few sightings in the jungle, somewhere to the north. If we have sightings to the north, south, and west, then that must mean Master PuPu has more friends here than he realised. I am not that gregarious. I have precisely one friend on this world. Could it be doppelgangers? No, too simple, too obvious. It's more likely the same alien wandering the jungle, being spotted in different locations by different eyewitnesses. Which just means we need to... I can't believe I'm suggesting this. Split up and search the whole area. A fair proposition. Very well then. Oh, are we launching a search party? Uh-oh. It's him. Father? Have you been following me? Nothing of the sort. I was engaging in feats of physicality, while my mind grappled with the mysteries of Mandavillian weapon forging, hoping to turn perspiration into inspiration, as it were. Probably literally. But I'm afraid the Burning Fields wooden men are poor muses when compared to the stimulus a worthy opponent provides. Mayhap if I join you and the indomitable Mel-chan in your endeavour, then happenstance will deliver the challenge I require. You are continuing the case of the silent correspondent, yes? Have you need of an extra pair of eyes? As many as you can spare. I was about to assign teams to the search, as a matter of fact. This village sits in the Shroud's east, so let us divvy up the remaining directions, shall we? Nashu and I will head south. Mel-chan and Master PuPu to the west, if you please. DeLorean, you and my father have the north. That's Delian. Also, the Shroud of the Sumga is awfully big. How are we to keep in contact, much less coordinate our efforts? I had special link pearls made for just such an occasion. We can chatter in each other's ears as much as we like. Are you mad? The Charlayans will listen in on everything we're saying. Really? All the way out here? I shouldn't think their hearing is that good. But seeing as you mislike link pearls so much, Lord Godbert can hold the one for your team. Link pearls are interesting, because I originally thought they were like just cell phones, but it seems like they're like they're each a miniature little network, only connected to a few other ones. How many link pearls does our character have by now? It's probably a lot. Link pearls! What tremendous foresight! Now, let us proceed with our investigation. Yay, we get to hang out with PuPu. The Inspector wishes us to search in the west of the jungle, yes? I will follow your lead. PuPu is accompanying you. Keep him at your side. Okay, he's a him. Fork. Theris must be a wonderful star to call home. So rich in resources. Is there any dialogue for, like, parting ways? And you must attend to this matter immediately. Understood. Hi, I'm back. Strange. I did not note the passage of time in your absence. Interesting. Shall we continue the search? Alright, let's go, you little cute. Hang on. Yes, he squeaks. I guess they are linked together. Yeah, they're each like a small little network of their own, it seems like. A river flowing right at our feet. Many stars have I visited in the cosmos, but precious few have such a bounty of water as this one. Your home is a rare treasure. Looking for aliens. I see no trace of my comrade. But what are these black-furred beings? Are they friends of yours? Fellow people of Atheris? Those are a type of Sasquatch, by which I mean no. Vaguely people-shaped perhaps, but not people. Not particularly friendly either. They're a type of Sasquatch. There is a greater variety of species here than I anticipated. I shall have to collect more samples. Let's keep moving. Samples. What do you mean by that? I doubt they have pearl phone towers, yeah. Very true. The rock formations on this island remind me of my home star. They have the same vibrant hues, the same stark beauty. If only. But never mind that. We have a friend to find. Go away. Don't make me stab you. I'll do it. Good. No sign of my friend here either. But these white-furred individuals... Oh, the lemurs? They are surely one of your civilized races, yes? Those are beastkin, monkeys. Also not people. Mind the poop throwing. Mind the poop. I find it difficult to tell the difference. One semi-intelligent life form is much the same as another. Well, never mind. Moving on. Some questionable dialogue from PuPu so far. Maybe DeLorean is right. Maybe he's planning an invasion. Nothing. Not even a little burnt circle in the grass. The friend I'm looking for. We grew up together. We were always together. We even shared the same dream. to roam the great expanse of the cosmos. We worked hard and supported one another until we both had starships of our very own. Then the universe was ours to explore. How fleeting that feeling of triumph. Ah, but that is another tale entirely. I simply wish to express how dear this friend is to me. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Is this thing on? This is Nashu. We think we may have found PuPu's friend. Come to Purusa as quickly as you can. Yes, let's take my starship. It's the fastest way. Flying in a UFO. Meanwhile, at Purusa. He's fine. Hail, dear comrade of Master PuPu. We come in peace. Pray reveal yourself. Oh. That's not an alien. Oh no. It's them. Wait, you're the Mandragoras. I know that gentleman, the Overlord's voice. Who's this? Ah, gentle dead man. Master Hildibrand. They said you were trapped in slumber, but I rejoice to see that is no longer the case. That is interesting attire for him. Gods, it's one of the Walking Dead. Greetings, friends. I'm a proud member of the Gentle Dead Men and disciple of Master Hildibrand. Oh God, what has your friend been zombified? What is wrong with their eyes? Ah. They're friends now? What brings you here to Thavnair, and in the company of Lenosia's infamous vegetable menace, no less? Allow me some few precious moments of your lifespan to explain. It was a time when the maggots in my skull grew restless and wriggly. Ugh. Tales of spoiled seedkin terrorizing the region of Bosnia reached our undead fraternity, and so on their behalf, I travelled afar to recruit a rotten mandragora. After making his acquaintance, the festering fellow wished to introduce me to his brethren, who he assured me were no less rotten. Thus did I make next for Lenosia, that I might extend a fitted hand in friendship. When I arrived, however, I learned that one of their companions had been abducted by a strange flying vessel. What was a gentle dead man to do but aid in the search? I turned to the Thavnarian truth, that reliable bastion of supernatural rumour-mongering, and lo and behold, an alien craft matching the Seedkin's description had been spotted here on this isle. Needless to say, we embarked on our journey forthwith. Ah, one of our faithful readers! I'm pleased to see that even in undeath, The hunger for truth is not wholly subsumed by the hunger for brains. So, we find ourselves on the case of the misappropriated Mandragora. This abductor will not evade my powers of discernment. PuPu did mention collecting samples. Soon we'll need a case to carry all these cases. Good one, Nashu. An abductor. I have a feeling we won't need to look far. Hi. This is how I'm travelling, apparently. Do I not fit in the UFO? That may have been me. Stop abducting people. Stop it. Aww. Forgive me for taking your friend. In my sample collecting frenzy, I must have mistaken him for an edible plant of some kind. Understandable. You would not be the first to confuse a mandragora with a salad ingredient. The main thing is that he is returned to us unharmed and uneaten. All's well that ends well. Now, if you will excuse us, we should be getting back to Thanalan. Rotting flesh and humidity is an unpleasant combination. He must smell so bad. Bye. Should we look through your samples and see who else you've abducted? My apologies, Master PuPu. We seem to have missed the mark this time, but I swear to you, I shall not rest until you are reunited with your comrade. I almost believed your keen inspector's sense to be a form of prognostication, but it really was just following your gut. And I'm afraid vague inspectorial feelings will take us only so far. We have an entire world to search, and for that we'd need, I don't know, a veritable army of inspectors. An army of inspectors? Oh no, not again. Of course! I can simply clone a multitude of Hildibrands as I did before. Now, let's not do anything rash. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Here we go again. Oh. Did it clone one? Oh dear. The ship's mana duplication facility has been temperamental for a while, and now it's broken down completely. This clone is the last it will ever produce. That's fine. Oh. Oh, God. Well. Just a flesh wound, though. Oh. Huh. Oh, God. Oh. Beautiful. Oh man, this remix of the tune, it's so good. Name. My name is Brandy Hild. Inspector Brandy Hild? Why is he so blocky? The cloning process must have failed partway through. Allow me to euthanize this abnormality. No, I love him. Now, let's not do anything rash. Unlike my former replicas, this one is highly unlikely to be mistaken for me. And seeing as we were looking for extra helpers, I say we press this undefined fellow into service. Welcome to the team, Inspector Brandy Hild. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. What happened to that rock? Why did that rock start moving? Oh, I see. Got burnt. Is he gonna fix the temple? Good on him. Oh, bring back the music. Lucky though this inspector may be, that Master PuPu could so easily attempt to replicate a living, thinking being. Alien technology is so advanced, I can scarce differentiate it from magic. I knew the duplicator had been unstable, but I pushed it to perform anyway. Now look at what I've wrought. Not only is this clone a poor imitation of the Inspector in form, but in force of personality as well. Assistance. Please, allow me to be of assistance. Never a dull moment around the Mandeville men. Lucky Brandy Hild. Just casually lifting tons, yes. We made quite a mess of that temple ruin, but thanks to Father, it looks as good as new. Or would that be as good as old? In any event, I look forward to tackling the remainder of the case with my charming new contemporary. I am delighted to be a part of it. Oh, look how shy he is. He really is very charming. Quest complete. Check for new dialogue. Nope. Generational bonding. Oh no. An unperturbed Hildibrand seeks to resume the search for PuPu's comrade. An unexpected but invaluable addition to our ranks. With our numbers thus bolstered, I say we are ready once more to dive into the fray. Perhaps, but what of our strategy? We need a new approach. Ahem. If I may. Assuming Master PuPu's acquaintance pilots a craft of similar design, then might we not instead attempt to locate the starship? Such a striking vessel will have drawn more attention than the comparatively tiny being in question. He has a point. The Truth receives a large number of reports from readers claiming to have observed unidentified flying objects. We could review said reports, those that meet the criteria of shiny, silver, and saucer-like, naturally, and then remove instances which we know to have been Master PuPu. That should narrow things down considerably. He's getting better with language. Indeed. What a fantastic idea. Just the kind of brilliance one might expect of one's clone. I was about to make the very same suggestion. Well done, Inspector. I hope I've not overstepped my bounds. I am but a shadow of the original, after all. I have a stack of back issues stored in the workroom I use in the city. PuPu can help me sift through them and cross off the sightings that were definitely him. Shall we? Quite a strange group we have. Alright. Friends at hand. Hey, Trinant. How goes Brandy Hild? It's very good. It's very good. I quite like Brandy Hild. Oh no. It's him. Not very hidden this time, are you? Excitable youth. You're not really a youth, though, are you? You're just a Lala. Maybe a young Lala? What do young Lala even look like? Ah! I mean, don't mind me. Just keeping a watchful eye on Miss Nashu. You never know what kind of unsavoury knaves are out there. Yeah. Inspector Hildibrand inspected Inspector Brandy Hild with unexpected introspection. Ouch, I think I just twisted my tongue. Young Lala would probably look like a smelly creep in a pink shirt and a white hat. Perfect. Dorian has taken Master PuPu to peruse his store of past publications. Let us enjoy a brief interlude until they return with the results of their investigation. We've finished going through all the back issues. If we discount the areas we know PuPu to have visited, it turns out that there was only one other sighting of a flying saucer, in Garlemald. The account itself was sent to me by an Imperial soldier named Numerius, who appears to be a loyal fan of the truth. All the way from the Empire? Your publication has an impressively wide readership. Our audience has always been universal. After all, the desire to know the unknown transcends all borders and creeds. The saucer was spotted during the Imperial War of Succession. Beyond that, there were no meaningful details. Then we must visit this soldier fellow in Garlemald and wring from him the entire tale. I agree. This is our only lead, and we've no choice but to follow up on it. To Camp Broken Glass. Delian's being very helpful. Squeak, squeak, squeak. to Garlemald. It's rather cold in Garlemald. Is Godbert going to show up with almost no clothes? Caw, it never gets any warmer here, does it? No, regular clothing. Everyone present and accounted for? Where's DeLorean? Ah, we appear to be missing Master Delian. Oh, Brandyhild gets names right. My apologies, but I had a hunch that I thought might save us some time. I spoke with some contingent officers, you see, and our Numerius is on the roster of allied Imperial troops. That does certainly make things easier. And were they able to point you in the direction of this Numerius chap's posting? Yes, Numerius is currently with his unit, organising the supply dump at Forum Patterns. We should head over there and hope he can spare a few moments to talk. The chill here seeps right into your bones. How are you all not shivering in that unseasonal attire? A Mandeville man on a mission feels neither heat nor cold. I'm not sure how one's frame of mind can overcome the reality of frostbite, but then again, reality always seems relative around the Mandevilles. Now you're getting it. Full legs bared though, yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen him in a proper pair of pants. He's always showing off some leg. Good old Farlamold. I think he was fully pantsed when you first went to the Gold Saucer and that's it. Oh. Wow. That was so long ago. That is pretty funny though. Maybe in the Stormblood cutscene. Oh yeah, for the MSQ. Yeah, that would make sense. Since that one had a very different tone. Forum Patterns. Okay. PuPu is so cute. Hello, is there a Numerius here? I am Delian, the editor-in-chief of the Thavnarian Truth. I've come to follow up on your eyewitness account. The editor-in-chief himself? What an honour! I wish there was more to the story, but everything I know was in my submission. I've naught left to tell. Unless you've something else to share? Didn't you say you saw the saucer as well? Oh, I did more than just see it. This was around the time when the fighting with Nerva's faction had escalated into all-out war, you understand. I'd been assigned to an anti-aircraft cannon, and was actively surveying for enemies when this silver vessel flew into view. Some new kind of war machina, I presumed, so I opened fire and knocked it out of the sky. Oh dear. Presumed? You mean you never got a look at the wreckage? We were at war. I wasn't about to venture onto the battlefield to indulge my curiosity. It's probably still out there. Somewhere. We have to find that flying, or should I say fallen, silvery saucer. Do you have an idea of where it crashed? Not an exact location, no. Then we'd best have the God's own luck. Garlemald's capital region encompasses miles and miles of icy wilderness. Oh. If I may, do you happen to remember the approximate speed and bearing of the saucer, and the position and the firing angle of the cannon? Oh, wow. More or less, I think. An artillerist without a head for numbers wouldn't be long for the profession. Oh, dear. That should be sufficient, thank you. Just some quick napkin math. Oh, this is great. I love him. I have it. The starship impacted the Earth 1,360 yards to the northeast of our current location. Give or take a few yards. How in the seven hells did you arrive at that conclusion? Elementary algebra, my dear Delian. Algebra? Assuming the craft belonging to Master PuPu's comrade is of similar construction, determining its trajectory is trivial. My brilliant clone, ladies and gentlemen. I was about to offer the self-same conclusion, but once again he has beaten me to the punch. Sure. Hooray for Inspector Brandyhild! I seem to have stolen my progenitor's thunder. My apologies. 1,360 or so yards to the northeast of here. That improves the chances of our search from near hopeless to rather hopeful. Let's go and find this fallen saucer, shall we? Yeah, I really like this track. Oh, there's the stalker. Followed us all the way to Garlemald. There's the mysterious villain. Is the stalker still there? No? Okay. That is one dedicated. Lalafell. Okay, all the way up in this corner. We could go to Tertium, actually. Twins and Yolis. Hello. See you later. This is a pretty convincing corner to put it. Because, yeah, I don't know if I've ever been over here. Brandyhild. Had someone thought to record the wind speed and direction, I might have calculated the crash site to the nearest Eorm instead. I'm going to talk to people first. Then we'll check out the wreckage. Tut tut. Silence, please. I must still my mind and quest afield with my senses. Wherever could it be? Hot soup. Blazing hearth. Oh. Oh, to always have such precise coordinates when hunting otherworldly phenomena. Godbert's keeping warm. Oh, such an invigorating climate. Yeah. Yep. A scorched and twisted scrap of metal plating. A starship like PuPu's could well have been reduced to a similar state were it hit by artillery rounds. Oh. I happened to click the right one, did I? Oh-ho! What have you found there, Melchan? An exterior panel. This is from my friend's starship, I'm sure of it. Debris from the crash landing. I see no other pieces in the immediate vicinity, which means the vessel may have weathered the barrage and made good its escape. Another possibility is that your comrade recovered most of the wreckage, or some as yet unknown party did. You're saying someone may have made off with our cosmic visitor, saucer and all? I say, this is an altogether different kind of alien abduction. Has anyone seen Nashu? Yeah, she was sleeping over there. Now that you mention it, where is my loyal assistant? Oh no. Help! You have to help! My beloved Miss Nashu has been kidnapped! Some cad claiming to be an agent of Dr. Lugay came and took her away. He told me to tell you, and I quote, "If you want your precious companion returned alive, then Melchan must present herself at the Tower of Babel, specifically the Magitech servicing facility. Don't forget that part." The gall, the temerity, the audacity! My stalwart aide, spirited away under my very nose. My apologies, but who are you? A close acquaintance of Nashu, I assume? Yeah, let's put it that way, I guess. Me? Oh, no, I wish. I mean, I just happened to be passing through this snowfield. I'm a snowflake inspector, you see. No two alike and all that. Anyway, enough about me. You need to go and save Miss Nashu. At last, a chance to stretch my legs. Oh. Oh. What say you, my son? Shall we get this rescue mission underway? Indeed we shall. Wanted to wait for him to finish posing. Nyam. How about Brandyhild? Is Brandyhild also strong? They left without us, even though this doctor fellow asked for you by name. Curious. Another abduction, and yet all I can do is wonder who that odd young man was, and why he smells so strongly of cheese. There. Snowflake inspector. Forget the missing starship for now. Nashu is in imminent danger. He's glowing. I've collected what evidence remained of the crash, but solving this mystery will have to wait. The case of the abducted assistant calls. Battle. Let's do it. Meanwhile, at the Tower of Babel. Wee-hee-hee! All shall fall before Supre Lugay. With this new and improved body, revenge will finally be mine. Uh, You will release Nashu this instant. What are you two doing here? I specifically asked for the adventurer. Be gone, before I unleash my fury prematurely. Oh, that was the first boss, wasn't it? He, like, combined himself with the first boss. Oh ho ho. This promises to be a proper battle. I see no reason to trouble Mel-chan. We tackle this menace as father and son, the Mandeville men, together. Oh, right, yep. Agreed. Bah, I'll not waste my appetite for vengeance on the side dishes. Hired thugs, time to earn your pay. Hired thugs. Oh, a little warm-up before the main event. Get them! Yeah, I heard about this, but I forgot about it until now. Yes! Playing as Godbert. He will fight as Godbert. What have we got? Rage of the Gentleman combo. The following gentlemanly weapon skills. Gentlemanly Smash, Gentlemanly Thrust, Rage of the Gentleman. Mandeville Dropkick, a gentlemanly attack, 900. Gloves off. Mandeville Lariat, a gentlemanly attack. Okay, so you do this to get buff, and then you spend it on one of those two. Mandeville Sprint, movement speed is increased in a gentlemanly fashion. A limit break, nice. Let's go! This is quite a crowd of admirers. Did someone send word we were coming? Woo! Oh, shall we do a little dance? So many partners to choose from. These animations are great. Whee! Spin! To win, of course. Boom! Is he powering up? The Gentleman Fanta Stick. Enhancing defense and restoring HP as only a Mandeville can. Your lackeys were found lacking. Come out and face your fate. Insolent worms. The sun will be the first to die. What is this impending dread? Mummy! Daddy, if you could be so kind. Yum. This is fantastic. All I heard is that you play as Godbert, but this is fantastic. Yum. Keep running, Hildibrand. You survived by missiles, but enjoy some leftover war machina. Wow, that's a lot. This seems a sturdier group than the last. They may indeed survive a few more taps of the hammer. Yum. Stop making noises, Hildibrand. Yum. Can I attack these? No. Okay. Yum. Okay, now I can. Spin! It's just dancing. Just endlessly dancing. If reasonable means fail, then unreasonable measures are called for. Stand back, Hildibrand. Let your old man handle this. Oh. Oh. Quick time event. Mandeville sidestep. Beautiful. You stop them all? By sidestepping? Very well. It seems I must crush you myself. Yes, let's go. Oh ho ho! Finally decided to take us seriously, have you? Nyum. Prepare to pay for your crimes, Doctor. Nyum. Ow, ow. I may have messed up. I've had worse Chigo bites. What? What manner of fiend are you? Bum, 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 bum. This move was meant for another, but you have earned my ire. Ha ha ha! Hildibrand's mother hits harder than that. The hardiness of these Mandevilles, it's unnatural. Ooh. I need to get up. Oh, no. Ow. Ah, a mild zap to improve the circulation. Invigorating. How? That much power should have rattled the teeth from his skull. You aggravating vermin. My plans are in ruins. You forced my hand. I'll bring this place down on your heads. The Doctor leaves himself wide open. Let us seize the advantage. Limit break. Limit break. Limit break. Now's our chance. Is graceful dive. Well, swimming, I guess. The Mandeville men! Victorious again! Mandeville generational bonding overdrive. Where's... Oh, there he is. Oh, both upside down. Hey, we're here. Ah, things seem to be well in hand. Whee! Don't get ahead of yourself. There you are, my loathsome nemesis. I saved something special, just for you. A nose laser? Uh-oh. Oh no, don't do a Horsefant. Oh no, okay. I thought it was they were gonna kill him off in a Horsefant reenactment. Oh. Well. Ahead of yourself. Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh, hey, Nashu. Oh, that was a lovely nap. Oh, did someone build a Magitech servicing facility while I was asleep? We should go find that robot head and make sure it's destroyed. Nicely done, Inspector Brandyhild. Once more, the clone has put the original to shame. Inspector, please. I am but a pale imitation of your ideal. Ha! I knew keeping company with the famous Melchan would lead me to a worthy challenge. Worthy of breaking a sweat, at least. You've done all the work for me. You've done all the work for me. You've done all the work for me. Sad. I wanted to stab things. A smile better suits a gentleman. Oh, oh, that would have been such a cruel move. Love how Melchan is just consistently good at volleyball in this quest chain. Yes, it's great. Oh, 'twas rude of us not to share a slice of the action. Yet even vaunted champions such as yourself must rest their bodies and let others rise to the occasion from time to time. That's fair. The villain is vanquished and Nashu is returned to us safe and sound. I say we head back to Radzat-Han to regroup and rethink our position. Your comrade yet lives, Master PuPu. I am certain of it. Take heart, and let us continue the search. Well. That was a journey. I remember standing in the snow and dreaming of being warm. Then suddenly I wasn't cold anymore. Isn't that odd? Maybe I should fall asleep in uncomfortable places more often. Bum, 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 bum. To Garlemald and back have we journeyed. Yet this is just the beginning of the case of the silent correspondent. Come, my friends. The shard of saucer we secured shall lead us onwards to new discoveries. Wait for me, Inspector. I don't know which way is onwards. I should follow him, shouldn't I? Oh, wait for me! A final word from yours truly, if I may. The complexities of Godbrand's techniques have had me flummoxed, I confess, but I do believe this recent spot of exertion has provided just the inspiration I required. When you are ready to proceed with our endeavour, pray drop a word in Master Gerald's ear. I shall make myself available forthwith. Until our next meeting. Bum, 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 ba-da, da. Thank you for assisting with my investigations, Melchan. Once again, our travels were rife with inexplicable phenomena, and yet I am no closer to exposing PuPu's well-concealed conspiracy. He will slip up one day, though, and you and I will be there to catch him. Sure. Meanwhile, somewhere in Thavnair. Yeah. How'd you get that all the way here from Garlemald? An airship. The villain revealed. I don't know who that is, though. You took my coin and you failed. What audacity that you should return, seeking my largesse once more. I deserve your scorn, but I promise you, your plans are in danger so long as that tenacious pest yet lives. I know of a path to victory, a forbidden path, one which demands the manifestation of the divine. A primal? That never works. We just kill the primal. Have you been paying attention? You have my attention. We really need to confirm our kill on that Lugae. Lugae level boosted through the MSQ. Yes. Lugae's got no idea what's going on. Alien friends with strange technology. Cloning yourself can lead to tragedy. But sometimes you get what you don't expect. A blocky man of quality. Inspector Brandyhild. Flat-faced for sure, but still sharp as a tack. See you, Inspector. I hope we keep Brandyhild around. I really like him. What think you of this ongoing case, Melchan? The Inspector, at least, seems confident that the piece of starship we found will help pin down the whereabouts of PuPu's comrade. If and when it does, I need to be there with quill and parchment in hand. We need to be there. As I've said before, this battle for truth cannot be fought by one man alone. Well, that was the Hildibrand chapter from 6.35. That was really good. Each of these chapters have been hilarious. And now I can do the next relic quest. Let's go do that. And then the next Hildibrand chapter is coming out this week. Bum, bum, ba, da, bum. And of a weapon for a dragoon. Yes. Well oiled. Gerald isn't immediately shooing you away, which means he must have something to share. Yeah, well that's why I wanted to do the Hildibrand now, so I'm caught up in the relic, so that I can then do the next relic. Melchan, how are you finding that Mandible weaponry of yours? Seeing as mine was the hand at the forge, the answer you're looking for is bloody marvellous. Still, it can always be better, and it sounds like Godbert's ready to build on the bare bones of what we've produced so far. I shall call upon his lordship. I love that he's just in his undies as well. Melchan, so good of you to come. I've had my nose buried in that mystifying manual for what feels like an age or more, but my decoding efforts have at last borne delicious fruits. 'Twould seem that to further enhance the ethereal conductivity of our weaponry, we must apply yet another variety of meteorite, much as one produces sparks by smashing one rock against another, a rare chondrite in this case. The true key to the process, however, is something rather more intangible. Well, don't leave us hanging, you overdramatic peacock. Tell us already. My ancestor's tome is, well, it is as much journal as it is instructional guide, and Godbrand details a history of failure to elevate his creations. As he was an accomplished warrior as well, he thus removed himself to the furthest reaches of the wilds, where he sought to vent his frustrations upon the most fearsome fiends that crossed his path. Post-battle clarity filled his spirit, and, miracle of miracles, his very next attempt at augmentation was a resounding success. So you see, the missing ingredient in Godbrand's recipe for refinement was the sublime tranquility achieved in the wake of an invigorating victory. I myself received the blessings of battle-based enlightenment on my travels with Melchan, following a mildly strenuous encounter with one Dr. Lugae. However, I contend, Master Geralt, that your martial meditation is as yet woefully inadequate. You think me smashing skulls instead of ingots will somehow improve me forging instincts? I guarantee it. In fact, until you triumph over this trial, I suspect the next rung of Mandeville mastery will forever remain beyond your reach. Not that I expect you to charge blindly into fisticuffs. Nay, sir, I have prepared for you the perfect opponent. Do I have to fight him? No, Chan. If you would be so kind as to join Master Geralt at Windweft, I shall be with you momentarily. I love this steward here. It's just so prim and proper and in his underwear. Oh, it's great. The hammering continues. Mandeville weapons. He wants me to fight some poor sap out at Windweft? Waste of bloody time, if you ask me. Actually, where is my Mandeville weapon? Oh my god, I need to clear this out, apparently. Here it is, Mandeville spear. Get rid of the glamour on it. Let's equip it for this. Seems fitting. That's right, it doesn't glow yet. Yeah, this step makes it glow, I believe. Alright, where is this? Over there. Alright, what's he fighting? Well, here I am. So where's me perfect opponent? Oh, I'm gonna beat him up, aren't I? Eager to begin, I see. Capital. Follow me, and we can get this clarifying combat underway. Well, he has to win, though, doesn't he? To get the clarity of a triumph. Oh, it's a mammoth. Okay. A flimsy little mammoth. Now, I ain't a warrior, but feast your eyes on these corded arms. If this were a tavern brawl, the smart corner'd be on the smithy. As it should be, which is why I've set this fellow's battle parameters to the maximum level. Right then, let's do this. Is that mammoth made by Godbert? Because it's probably one of the most terrifying things ever created. Yes! Yes! Tricky little bastard. I know what this calls for. A generous application of Mandeville mandated lubrication. Oh god. what did you just slather me with? Only the finest salamanderville, my good man. Feel it sink into your muscles and augment your natural prowess. 'Tis the oil of champions. Can I get a bottle of that for raid night? No? Okay. You know, I do feel oddly powerful. Well, a clear's a clear. Ha! Take that, Tin Man! What a rush! I've never wanted to forge Summit so badly. Is this that battle enlightenment you was on about? The very same. In your heightened state of awareness, our enhancements are sure to be flawless. Then let's get to work. As before, your job is to bargain for meteorite chunks from Gibruna. Rowana knows to supply her with the chondrite we need. I'll head back and warm up the furnace. Even at its weakest, watching my mammoth do battle is always a treat. Its weakest. Yes, I actually had this axe-wielding gentleman set to his lowest parameters. And while the Salamanderville does stimulate circulation, it has no other special effects. The most daunting opponent, you see, is the prison of the mind. Even should the battle itself be a charade, the positive momentum one gains from prevailing in what was perceived to have been a mighty struggle is no less real. Clever. Now, if you would kindly see to procuring the chondrite, I must attend to my part of the preparations. Chunks of complementary chondrite can be obtained from Gibruna at the Aetherite Plaza. Alright. Okay, Twitch keeps bugging me about running ads, so... I might run 3 minutes of ads just to turn them off for a while, because it's only been an hour and a half, so I think we'll do something else after I finish this. Yeah, we'll do another story thing. So I'll run 3 minutes of ads, and I won't do any more story while that's running. I'll just go sort out this meteorite stuff. Okay. Yeah, so you sold the previous chunks. Mandarium. Now we need complementary chondrite. This rare form of chondrite contains spheral groupings which greatly amplify ethereal conductivity when synthesized with mandarium, an advanced process which demands a heightened state of battle-based enlightenment. Okay, so that's not the weekly, yeah. So I have a bunch of the old one that I can turn into that. I'll just go, I don't know how it works, if it just replaces what I've currently got, so I'll go spend what I've got currently and then I'll convert it over. Yeah. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Okay. Get a bunch of alchemist, because I can use that to make potions now. I crafted some of my own potions. I'm so proud. Very nice. Okay, and I have to go to I believe it's Mordona is where you convert your tomestones. Bum, bum, dum, bum. Okay. Who does the convert? Oh, alright. Rowan as token exchange? Oh, nope, that's not it. Astronomy exchange, there we go. Yep. Oh, it's only for 500. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. That's not what I thought it was. I can't actually afford that at the moment. Then, well, that's a shame. I'll have to finish that next time, I suppose. Rip. I'll have to remember the conversion is not 1-to-1. I only got 500 for 2,000. And I need 1,500 tomestones worth. Rip. Oh well, I shall have to do that next time, I suppose. Do some more hunt trains. Ow. Bum, bum, bum. Just double check how much they were. Yeah, 500. Okay. Shame I can't use poetics yet. They'll probably get turned into poetics once this is no longer the current expansion. But yeah. Okay, ads are over. So yeah, I miscalculated and I don't actually have enough tomestones to finish this relic quest at the moment. Which is a shame. I'm going to have to leave it for another stream. So yeah, that's a shame. I will remember that next time though. I need to have enough tomestones on me. Alright, well. So the other quests I want to do... Oh, hang on. Oh, FC buffs ran out. That's no good. There we go. Yeah, the other things I wanted to do. So the other story stuff. There's the Tataru story, but there's 2 chapters of that now because I've let that linger for a while. So I've got 2 chapters of that. So I kind of want to do a whole stream of the Tataru side quests to catch up on that. The other thing I wanted to do is the other Shadowed Pasts quest. This is going to be a very big tone change from Mandeville. I should change the stream title actually. What's it called? Tales of Newfound Adventure is what they call it. Yeah, so there was a side quest we did before which told us the backstories of 2 of the 4 fiends from the MSQ. So where would that be under? Unusual endeavors, maybe? Variant dungeons. Guardian restoration, that's not it. Tataru's Grand Endeavor. Yeah, that's the other story stuff I want to do. Ah, here it is. Tales of Newfound Adventure. Yeah, Shadowed Pasts. So there is a little void scent that hopped through the portal while it was open. And yeah, it's just seeking sanctuary. It's split into several lesser void scent. Yeah, so we're trying to find its missing kin so they can recombine. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so we found 2 of them, and they told us the backstories of 2 of the 4 fiends. Barbaricia and Scarmiglione, I think? Yeah. But now there's another side quest that tells us about the other two, which is Rubicante, the fire dude, and I don't remember the name of the water dude, I'm sorry. We'll find out, I suppose. So let's go do this side quest. Shadowed pasts once more. Everyone has wind up Godberts at the moment. Sullen-eyed void scent. Would you tell us of your recent ventures when you next return? I promise to make it worth your while. Shadowed pasts once more. Ooh, we get a orchestrion roll. The Radiant Scout is keeping a close eye on the sullen-eyed void scent. So this will probably be very morbid, this questline. Ah, if it isn't Mistress Milchan. Since last we spoke, I have continued keeping an eye on the void scent. While the creatures have given me no reason to believe that they pose a danger, the rest of them remain at large. My fellows and I have yet to come by any eyewitness information, but their forms being what they are, they cannot have gotten far. Of course, it would make our search easier if they were likewise drawn to Rezat Han. My other selves have been telling me about their adventures. Truly, your world is a fascinating place. There's nothing like exploring a new city. Your world is fascinating too. Yeah, your world's fascinating. So you've enjoyed hearing my tales? I would be glad to share more with you. Once I've found the rest of me, that is. The others have more knowledge of mighty void scent, you see. The sensation. Could it be? Oh, the noises. Oh, they're gross. Yes, I feel them. The rest of myself. They're very close now. There's 4 of them, and unless I'm mistaken, they're somewhere in the city. Please find them for me, that I might be whole again. As before, by way of payment, they will tell you about powerful void scent and their pasts. Now, the nearest appears to be this way. Perhaps that's a good place to start. The rest of its fellows have appeared in the city. Then you had best track them down. Judging by the direction, I expect the nearest one is in Dharma. I leave the creatures in your capable hands. That's right, I don't think he can communicate with them. We can because of the echo. The others will have seen some sights of their own. How I look forward to hearing their tales. Worry not, I will see to it that these ones do not wander off. Best of luck finding their fellows. Oh, right. Let's get this one first. Hello, little eyeball friend. You've been looking for me, you say? Sorry for the trouble. I found a place with beautiful water and thought I'd have a rollick, but ended up being washed away. I tried to get back upstream, swimming against the flow, and had managed to come this far when you appeared. After all that effort, I'd like nothing more than to reunite with my other selves. But if you've been promised a tale, Then you shall have one. Tell me a story, little eyeball friend. Nothing but small fry. See that mortal there? He fished me up, but promptly released me while calling me a hideous slug. I don't know what that was about, but it worked out well enough. Oh, to be out in the open sea and catch something big. But until I can afford a halfway decent rod, I'll just have to put up with this tired old fishing hole. I know the feeling well, the desire to chase after big fish. I used to be a fisherman too, you see, together with my brother. But the Contra Memoria wreaked havoc on the ocean's ether, and nary any fish remained to be caught. Each morning we would wake up not knowing whether we'd have food to fill our bellies. On a day like so many before, we were waiting in vain for a bite. My brother's face was fixed in a grimace, and I assumed he was cursing the war in his mind. But it turned out he was thinking about something else altogether. And when he finally spoke, the frustration was plain in his voice. Even if there were fish to catch, is this how I'm going to live out my days? Sitting endlessly with a pole in hand. It's like dying a slow death, and I can't take it anymore. More so than our privation, it was the mundane, unchanging nature of our lives that bothered him. In the next instant, he blurted out, "That's it. If there's a war, I'm going to fight too. That way I won't be bored, at least." And just like that, he threw aside his rod and set off, right into the thick of the conflict. He probably became one of the Voidsend, didn't he? Well, I mean, everyone did, but I mean, one of the fiends, sorry. Damn it! It's over. Ugh. Who the hells are you? Please. Whoever you are, I'm in your debt. Having exhausted my powers, I was all but defeated, but now none remain to oppose me here. Perhaps you would consider serving me? You would be well rewarded, of course. I could grant you riches, castles. Punch him. Yeah, okay, he just wants to fight anyone. What's the meaning of this? Weren't you a friend? Friend? I'm just after some excitement. So come on, give it to me. That could be taken very differently. Ah, that's gonna hurt. You don't just punch a spear tip. There you are. Thank heavens. What were you thinking, taking on Memoriates with your bare fists? However strong you may be, you're lucky to be alive. Alive. Yes, I've never felt so alive. Where are you going? No more chasing small fry for me. From now on, I'm going to live for the thrill of battle. I'll seek out those stronger than me, and I'll give them all a taste of my fist. Never have I felt so alive as I did, risking life and limb, he said, as he strode away, never to return. Sometime afterwards, a rumour reached me of a fearsome warrior. The man would arrive unannounced on a battlefield, trounce anyone and everyone indiscriminately, before disappearing again. Cagnazo, he was called, and cursed for a feral dog. That was enough for me to know that my brother still lived. Cagnazo, yep. That's the fourth. The name I didn't remember. It was only when I became a void scent that I came to understand my brother, to understand the emptiness he felt in his mundane life. It inspired me to want to break free from my own unchanging existence, and instilled in me a longing for this world. And for all his quirks, he was a good and kind brother, always looking out for me and helping me with my fishing. Like everyone, he must have turned into a void scent. If he had the chance to come here, I believe he would have found a purpose in life, a proper one. Thanks to you, I could relive those old memories. And with that, I had best go and join my other selves. Be seeing you. He sounded a bit like Xenos. Never really feeling alive unless it's in battle. I wish I... So there's 4, so I think 2 of them are for Rubicante. I wish I knew which one was the other Pegnazo one, so I could do them in order. Let's go for this one next. Level 90 Fisher Xenos. Oh, that's great. There's another one. We'll go do this one first. Hello. What business does a mortal have with me? So the rest of me is safe? Thank goodness. It was worth risking myself to let the others escape. No sooner had we arrived in this world than we were attacked by fearsome creatures of stone. I drew their attention, and after scrambling hither and yon, managed to get myself to safety. But to so jealously guard treasure, you mortals must truly be fond of it. Lo, there's another place for storing it right there. They say it's mountain after mountain of treasure in there. We just need to find the coffers that act as portals. And then survive the guardians and deadly fiends. I don't like our chances with just the 3 of us. Less of us means a bigger share for each. Exactly. Besides, what's an adventure without a little danger? I'm really not sure about this. To willingly throw oneself into danger. It's truly a strange mortal quirk. Unlike your kind, we Void Sent are quite risk-averse. For instance, we wouldn't think to challenge a stronger being. Except for him, perhaps. An odd fellow who loved fighting for its own sake. That sounds like Cagnazzo. His name was Cagnazzo, and there was nothing he feared in his domain. Employing deception, he trapped his foes and drowned them in a bottomless mire. It mattered not how strong they were. All fell before him. Yet, despite his victories, he never felt truly satisfied, and through a chance meeting, he would learn the reason why. That you should repel my attack. You're tougher than I expected. To whom do I speak? I am Cagnazzo, and I'll bet you're the one they say is seeking out the strong. Well, if it's battle you want, then you need look no further. Lest you misunderstand, I do not desire fruitless battle. On the contrary, 'twould seem that it is you who seek out the strong. Why? When you're hungry, you devour. It doesn't matter who. Your luck ran out when you strolled into my domain. None would so risk themselves simply because of an empty stomach. Nay, my friend, the source of your hunger lies elsewhere. What is this ether? So pure and sublime. There's so much of it I'm ripe to burst. And yet, I still don't feel satisfied. Do you see? 'Tis not for ether that you thirst, but battle. You'll not quench this thirst with stagnant swamp water. Nay, naught save that of a raging torrent will sate you. What do you mean? There is no joy to be had in ensnaring your quarry. For victory to have savour, you must place yourself in the midst of danger. If you join me, I shall see to it that you never want for dread foes to grant you satisfaction. What say you? Why do I feel as though I've remembered something important? Whoever you are, I would know more. And thus did he find a place to belong, upon the fine line that divides the devourer and the devoured. If he could do battle with just one worthy foe, he told himself, he could go to his rest forever satisfied. From that day forth, Cagnazzo tirelessly sought out those who might be able to best him, each time hoping for bliss, but knowing that, like as not, disappointment ultimately awaited. A yearning so strong, nothing else matters. Do you have such a thing driving you too, mortal? Looking back, It was extremely reckless of me to come to this world, but it has been worth every bit of danger and more. I can't wait to share my experiences with myself. I'll be on my way now. Thanks for coming to find me. Gross slime noises. Yeah, Cagnazo sounds a lot like Xenos. Just without the obsession with our character. Okay, Rubicante's story now. The rest of me are here too? What a relief! I was taking in the sights in a village nearby when I realised I had become separated. I'm glad I decided to follow the clamour and head to the city. There are so many mortals here, so many beautiful buildings. Father, what is this building? This, my boy, is the resting place of the great Azadal. Centuries ago, he journeyed here from the mainland and helped to end the war between the Matunga tribes, an act which laid the foundation for the nation of Radzat-Han. So it's thanks to him that we all get along. Ah, a tomb. A place for mortals to remember their dead. It calls to mind people from my own past. My mother, who died in the Contra Memoria, and the ones who laid her to rest. Long, long ago, there lived two powerful mages. It was said that none could match their might, yet they nevertheless continued to hone their skills at their training ground, atop a peak called Mount Ordeals. One day, fell fiends began attacking villages unprovoked. Upon hearing the grim tidings, the mages came to a resolution. Through years of training, we have mastered our flames. 'Tis time for us to employ them for the salvation of the world. So it was that the pair descended the mountain and set about vanquishing the fiends. Just that one left. Leave it to me. No, don't! Please don't hurt her. Don't hurt my mother. Oof. Your mother? Ah! Please save her. I beg you. What do I do? Seems I have no choice. What? She's turned into a crystal? said that I would save the world, but I couldn't save even a single life. My flames were meant to be like the sun. They were meant to protect, to keep warm and light the way. And yet... In his great fury at his failings, the mage's face turned red as a ruby. Thus did the girl choose to call him Rubicante. The mage returned to his mountain, where he buried his comrade. Upon the gravestone, he etched words of admonishment and continued his training alone. One day, when visiting his comrade's grave, he found that a familiar crystal had been left there. Its presence lifted a great weight off his chest. Without words, it told him that that girl was grateful for what he did. That day, he regained something he had lost, and descending the mountain once more, he embarked upon a journey, determined to use his powers for good. As sad as it is to lose a precious life, it's sadder still, I think, to lose one's purpose. Mount Ordeals has been swallowed up by darkness, and his comrade's grave with it. But wherever Rubicante may be, I like to believe that the little girl still remains in his heart. Well, it's past time I rejoined the others. It was nice talking to you, mortal. Aw. Were you the little girl? It's so sad. Well, we'll see how he ended up joining Golbez. Final eyeball. What? I'm calling me, you say? I can appreciate my separation anxiety, but I answer to no one, not even myself. I am my own master. I do what I like, when I like. I will rejoin the others at my own leisurely pace. Alright. Mortals, on the other hand, always seem to be busy at work. Short as your lives are, one would think you'd spend more time on leisure. You're truly strange creatures. Still burning strong? Just like the start of the experiment. By the sisters, but tending the flame is mind-numbing work. Someone has to do it, I suppose, but I just wish it wasn't me. Tending the flame. That reminds me of a void scent I once knew. He watched over a beacon fire, seeing to it that it remained ever lit. Unlike that mortal, however, he did it of his own volition. Such an act served no practical purpose in our world. Even if night and day existed, we voidsent don't rely upon light. Yet he persisted. Though perplexed by his curious ritual, I somehow found myself helping him with it. Rubicante was his name, and he went about his task dutifully. Others mocked him for his meaningless act. But it must have held some manner of meaning to him. And so, when I chanced to find the beacon gutted out, I made certain to let him know. For time out of mind, this routine continued uninterrupted, until that fateful day. I see flames dancing in the distance. Who should I find tending it but a mage of considerable might? With such power, surely you can do more than keep a beacon lit. My flames serve not to smite others, nor to sate my hunger. Then what purpose do they serve? I cannot say for certain, but to simply behold this flame somehow sets my heart at ease. I see. It would seem you lack the power to comprehend the feelings engraved upon your soul. But such a lack is readily rectified. This warmth, invigorating and comforting. Where have I felt it before? Of course, the sun, that which once shone its light upon creation. Though it would set, never did it fail to rise again, and like the sun, my flames must never die. So that is the way of it. Through your flames, you sought to recreate the sun's journey, to recreate the world as it was before. Who are you, who could unearth memories buried in the deepest recesses of my heart? It matters not who I am, but what I seek to do. Join me, and together we shall banish the darkness and see that the sun rises again. According to the mysterious night, the price to save the world was dear. The inhabitants of the neighboring reality must be sacrificed. To which Rubicante replied, I have sworn to use my power to save the world. If innocent souls must be consumed by my flames, then I shall bear responsibility for the sin. Thus did he choose his path, of his own volition, and his spirit lives on in me as an undying flame. Jeez. A world engulfed in darkness had become the norm for me. But since coming here and basking in the sun, I've been reminded of all that we had lost. I understand Rubicante better now. Understand why he was willing to sacrifice all to restore the world to the way it was. To him, it was worth the price. Well, I must say, it felt great to take a squirm down memory lane. With that, I shall now rejoin the others. Of my own volition, of course. Take a squirm down memory lane. That's quite a saying. You have found the last of the Void Scent. Time to head back to the Hall of the Radiant Host. Their stories were in the perfect order. Was that just... I just happened to find them in the right order, or... Well, I wonder if they'll combine into one being now. One, two, three. Is this all of them then? You did it! You found all of me! I trust I upheld my part of the bargain and told you about more mighty Voidsent. I learned about the past of Cagnazo and Rubicante. Those Voidsent fought fiercely, but they'll fight no more. I learned about the past of Cagnazo and Rubicante. So you had already crossed paths with them. Though the tales may not help you in the battles ahead, I dare say they gave you something to think upon. As mortals, then Voidsent, then Archfiends, these troubled souls fought with all their being, and now their fight is over. Well, I myself have only heard the tales from the others. If I'm to make their feelings my own, I need to become whole again, which I can do now, thanks to you. So all of them are accounted for? Then by all means, let's have them return to the way they were. Without further ado then, to me, myselves. Fusion, ha! Oh, well, that makes sense, I guess. At last, we're whole again. There's nothing we need fear. And that which each of us experienced since coming here, it's as if I had experienced it all for myself. I say it again, but this world is truly a fascinating place. I must see more of it. Yes, I must. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but now that it's whole, I can't help but feel that it's more of a danger. Yet with the undersea portal destroyed, there's no way to return it whence it came. Whatever should we do now? What's this I see? Oh, it's Voidsent. There's a few of them in that direction. More of my brethren made it over, it seems. Curious, though. This is much farther than I can usually perceive. I can only assume my vision has improved. Could this be the accumulative effect of our experiences here? Oh, they're leveling up. What? It can sense its kind from a vast distance. Amazing! Such an ability would make the task of tracking down invading Voidsent a breeze. If the creature would agree to assist us in this manner, I'm confident that I can convince my superiors to forge a pact with it. Aho! If it means I can remain in this world, then I'd gladly agree to that arrangement. I can't say how much I'm indebted to you, mortal. Working with this fellow here, I'll find a way to communicate with your kind and make myself useful. Thank you for everything. Aw. It's going to be their little Voidsent detector. The music. Somewhere in the world, ambitions writhe. There you go. Music. I will be on my best behavior until I've forged a pact. It's nothing short of a dream come true to be in this world, and I'll do whatever is required to remain. With regards to communication, as the creature appears to understand our words, I believe I shall begin by teaching it letters. With some effort, I'm confident we'll be conversing ere long. Letters. How's it gonna... They'll find a way. They'll find a way. Yeah. We have a friendly void-sent eyeball creature here. Kind of cool. She seems unbothered. Good for her. Okay, that is that side quest complete. That went in the new game plus. Oh, there's a chapter for variant dungeons. I should probably finish that. There it is, Tales of Newfound Adventure. That was a nice little bit of backstory there for those characters. I kind of want to go through the, like, just watch through the MSQ that involved them again, now that I know more about their characters. Kind of sad to find out their backstories after they're gone, but well. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to do today. The other thing, I need to finish that relic quest, but the other story bits I want to do at some point, not today, but is the 2 new chapters of Tataru. There was one that came out with 6.3 and one that came out with 6.4. Yeah, an auspicious opportunity. That's it. So next time I do a story stream, I'll probably do that. Or I might do the new Mandeville chapter, which is coming out on Tuesday night. One of the two. It was good to catch up on that stuff, though. Aggressive expansion. Yeah, see, this is the next chapter. Alright, well, that was good to do. Hildibrand was very fun. I'm eager to see the final bits of that relic quest. And yeah, Hildibrand chapter, a new one coming out this week. But yeah, I'll finish up the stream there. That was quite a bit of progress we made. I'm not sure if we're raiding tomorrow. Yeah, because we're down a tank tomorrow, so it depends on if we want to deal with Party Finder or if we can find a fill, or if we decide to just chill for the rest of this week. It's been an off week since I was sick last night, and yeah, I might be sick again tomorrow, not sure. We'll see how we go. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, thank you, Trinant. Oh yeah, I'm trying to find someone to raid, but no one's really jumping out at me at the moment. So I think I'll just finish up the stream. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I shall see you next time. See ya.